Hello to you all my viewers, welcome to Geonodes daily series where we do something cool in geometry nodes, and also welcome to the 7th part of this mini series where we recreate this cool sci-fi reactor that you see here. We did a lot of work in the previous videos, so I encourage you to watch those. Today we will see exactly this part, how we to create these orbs and this effect of the orbs going to a certain point. And that's really cool because you will learn how to use the position of some objects to instance and drive other objects. So this is what we are going to do today. This is the finished project file, the one that you can download from Gumroad to play with it and support this channel. So by the way, thank you to all of you that decided to do this already, to purchase this project file. It really helps this channel. And what I want to show you is, as you can see, if we go here, we have these crates, and inside of them we have these orbs. They are not exactly visible in this point unless we go to a place where the controller is active, or we deactivate the crates itself. So let me quickly do this. Let me deactivate the crates, and as you can see, now we have these orbs inside of it that follow the position of the crates, no matter how they are distributed. Because if you watch the other videos, you know that you can play with this stuff. You can change the number of piles, so you can have less piles, or you can change the number of crates that are in a pile. So you see the dots are following the crates just fine, as you can see here. And then when we start to do the orbing, flying, they all go to this center core of the reactor, and I'm going to show you how you can do this. As you can see, they follow a random pattern and they end up there. So that's really cool, and that's what we are going to do today. So the first order of business is getting the crate's position, because we want to instance something on the place of each crate. So how can we get the position? We have to go to the place where we generated the crates. So let me just go back, and we have this frame where we created the crates piles. And after that we did the material assignment and all that good stuff, and we still have instances here. And then we created the piles corridor. As you can see, we have two piles here, and that's basically where we want to be, because we want these positions from here. So but if we go here and we take this position, we basically have two instances here, and we have one instance for one row and one instance for one row. And if we get the position, we will get something like this. So that's not going to help us. But if we go before we created the corridor here, and we take the position, and then we duplicate this position at the same way we did this, we will get what we want. So how can we do this? Let's me go to this node, instance 2 points, and that will take these instances from here, and it's going to turn it into points. And then we will do something. Let me just take this pile and this pile and this pile, gx, to move it a little bit. And now we want to add this to our setup, so we will do a join geometry, plug it here, and plug this one here. So now we will have these instances turned into points, and these points will be in the place of our crates, as you can see. And because we did this before duplicating the setup, that means the points get also duplicated. and the points are generated where the origin of these crates are. That means exactly in the middle. So after we did that, it's time to retrieve those positions and do something with it. So we have this exploding effect that we did the last time, the one that is doing this, but we want to get these positions before we do that. So if we go after this solidify node and we'll go to this node called separate components, we can plug it here. So we have the mesh here, and we also, as you can see, we have the points clouds here, and that's exactly what we need for our new setup. So if we did this, and now we can have access to this point clouds data, we can do orbs on this crate's position. And for that, we are going to use instances, instance on points. Let me close this panel to have more space. Let's take this point clouds for the points. I can do Control H on this one, so we get rid of the unused sockets. Let me also put a frame on this one and call this add crates inner orbs. So we will know what this part of geometry node does. Of course, what we also need to do is mix everything. So let's do another join geometry here and mix this output here. And in order to see what we are going to do, we are temporarily going to mute this part. So if you do Control Alt, right click, drag on this geometry, you can mute that part of the setup. We don't see anything because we didn't instance anything on this point, and it's time to do just that, to instance something on those points. So let's use an icosphere. That sounds like a nice candidate, and I'm going to plug it in the instance, and automatically we will get this awesome result. So let me make this smaller and add some more subdivision, and why not go to mesh, set shade smooth to shade it smooth. You can see the difference on these orbs. You can also add a material to that. So let's make it like red. Why not? And now we have this setup here, and on top of that, of course, we have the crates. As you can see here, they are working independently. So after we did this, we want to do that sort of exploding effect to have the orbs follow a trajectory and get to a certain point. And we want to add an empty to control that location. So let me do empty, another empty here. This will be orbs controller. Okay, and this is brake control. Excellent. So now we have this orbs control. So let's put this one here and drag it here into our setup. Don't forget to change it to relative, because otherwise it's just going to take the world origin location, but we want to have its actual location here. And once we have this one, we can use its location to mix between position of this orb. So let's do that. Let's take a color mix RGB, and we want to mix between two things. We want to mix this location. from here. Let me put it a little bit down, and we want to mix the position of this geometry with this. And in order for our setup to actually use this, we kind of have to do a set position node and plug it here. And now we can plug this one into the position. And as we play with the factor, we see this going from there to here. And if we move this controller anywhere, we will see the dots following that. Excellent. But there is something else that we want to do. We want to control this effect, and we want to do that nice random distribution. And for that, we will use, of course, a utilities random value node. I'm going to plug this one here. And as you can see, we immediately get this result. And of course, in order to have a slider to control that, like we did the last time, we are going to add a math, add node, and now we have this value that is controlling our effect. So at -1, we get nothing. At 1, everything gets moved completely on that side. So that it's the cue for us to add the map range node, plug it here into this value, and let's do a -1 to 1 range on the output and input it 0 to 1. And this value, we can expose this value to our group output, group input. Okay, and panel, go to the node setup, add it a greenish color, and now we can expose this value and go to the group tab and call this orbs move. Orbs move is just fine. And this will be a 0 to 1 range. Excellent. And default, let's make it 0. And now if we go to our geometry node setup, at 0 we get this, and at 1 we can move the orbs to their final positioning. Excellent. One more thing, we can simply move things in the stack here by pressing on these arrows, something like this. So we have the orbs move, and let's say the exploding effects to be the first two options. And of course, you can arrange things the way you want, in any order you want. You can add tooltips here, like I show you for these ones. For example, we added a tooltip, and that's very useful when you have a lot of parameters, like you saw in the project file. So I took care of that and put a lot of tooltips and notes for you, so you can understand what's going on in the project file. So that will be all for today. In the next video, I want to show you how I created the drone that you saw in the video, and that's also going to be very nice. We will play with curves, we will play with procedural animation to make the rings on the drone move, and a bunch of other stuff. So stay tuned for that. Until then, thank you again very much for watching this video and for supporting this channel. A big thank you to all of you that are subscribing, commenting, liking the videos, or purchasing the project files from Gumroad. This really helps this channel. So thank you very much for doing so. And in the hope that I'm gonna have you in the next video. Have a nice day and happy blending.